Welcome to London City Council. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Eads.
Here.
Peters. Robinson. Hayes.
Present.
Hitt.
Here.
Stahl.
Present.
Smith.
Okay, and we have at least 4 council in here, so we do have a quorum. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes from our last meeting?
I have one thing.
Okay.
I noticed that at the end of the meeting, I was the one to end the meeting. I was not at that council meeting, so that needs to be changed to whoever it was.
Okay. Good to see Mr. Peters.
I can look at the, I'll correct it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so all in favor of approving those minutes with that correction, say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed, same sign. All right, communications and announcements. We do not have any this evening. On to our audience concerns. First, we have Brent McDaniels. Please come to the podium, state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
Brent McDaniels, 1051 Amherst Boulevard, London, Ohio. I was just going to ask City Council if they consider giving us people who aren't fortunate enough to work in London our tax credit back that they took away from us. And I guess I'll talk to Mr. Smith when he's here next time. So, thank you.
Okay. All right. Now on to our next person, Marilyn Hall. Please state your name, address, and you have 5 minutes, please.
Can I take this microphone off?
Yes.
Because I can't read.
Or you can speak from there. We can hear you.
Oh, no, I want to hold it.
Okay.
My name is Marilyn Hall, born and raised in London, Ohio. I live at 247 East 1st Street, London, Ohio. I am a member of the Merrimack Park Miracle Board. I come before you this evening, gentlemen, because I sent each one of you an invitation to come and celebrate with the Merrimack Miracle Board when we cut the ribbon at Merrimack Park on Sunday. None of you came.
I was out of town.
Yeah, at that time I was in Dayton, Ohio.
I don't want to hear excuses, sir. I just would know.
Excuse me.
Let's not argue. I have my 5 minutes. You can have yours.
You're talking to the council president, and that's
yes, please.
That's not how you talk to him. That is very disrespectful, and I will tell you that now. You have been given time to speak, but if you're disrespectful, your time. I
apologize. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My heart hurts, gentlemen. I was so proud of the administration of our city that came out to support Merrimack Park Miracle and what's going on out there. This is not something that is on the south end of town. It is something that we are doing for the City of London, the children and the families, to make Merrimack Park a part of this city that we can all be proud of. We had the mayor, the safety service director, his administrator. We had almost all of the people that have at some point in time worked with us during the past year to improve what's going on at Merrimack Park Miracle. My heart hurts, gentlemen, because none of you were there. If just one would have shown up, I would have felt like you were supporting what we are doing at Merrimack Park. But I feel no support from you. So I ask you, please, that as you go forth in doing things to improve things, as we work together very closely with Parks and Rec Commission, as you think about what's best to do for the City of London and the children of London, that you will keep in mind that Merrimack Park and the south end of town are a part of London, Ohio. And we want to do great and wonderful things. We work very, very closely with First United Methodist Church. Pastor Dave came out and his people came out and fed hundreds of people out there on Sunday afternoon. It was hot. You know, your street department was there. Bill Long has worked with us, Landon and the people at Parks and Rec. So gentlemen, search your heart, search your hearts, and please let us feel that you also support what your concerned citizens are. You said welcome concerned citizens. So please, gentlemen, work with us, not against us.
All right, ma'am, I think if you remember, we did approve legislation for money at the park so that the renovations could be made. As a matter of fact, I think I may have been the one that sponsored that. So I think that we 100% sponsor Merrimack Park. We don't neglect it or anything. As a matter of fact, I remember when the gentleman came here over a year ago and he asked if something could be done about Merrimack Park. And at that time, I stood up and I told him that I think something should be done about Merrimack Park as well. And then they brought that to our committees, and we approved dollars for that. So we are 100% behind that, just as well as we were 100% behind Cowling Park. So I thank you for your comments, but please also don't forget that we have already supported it through dollars to make sure that things, and I've gone to planning meetings for it and everything myself. So we do support it, even though we may not have been there that day. There's several days that we've been through meetings and committees and everything to help that become the success that it did. But thank you too for the time that you've put into it.
We have not seen you.
All right. Thank you too for the time that you've put in it. But like I said, we've been behind the scenes making sure even that you get the equipment, you get the funding and everything. We've been there for that. So 100% we do support that. So thank you for your part in supporting that as well.
We'll see you also on the south side with us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, on to our committee reports. We'll begin with Mr. Eads.
Well, I've not been to a committee meeting since the last meeting I attended, so I have
All right.
nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Peters.
Just let everybody know there will be a finance meeting Wednesday, September 7th at 7 p.m. And before that, there will be a public service meeting at 6 p.m. on the 7th as well.
6 p.m. for service. Okay. And Mr. Hayes?
Okay, first of all, Ms. Saul, I want to apologize to you that I was not there. I did receive the card. And I'll be honest, as you get older, things, and I shouldn't have forgot it. I'll take the responsibility. I forgot it, and it's on me. But I appreciate you coming in tonight, and appreciate the work you're doing down here, and accept my apologies. Next public safety meeting will be September 13th on Tuesday evening, 5 p.m. Be in the conference room and back here.
Okay. Mr. Hitt?
No, I have nothing new.
Okay.
Neither do I.
No, okay. All right. On to our city official reports.
Sorry, excuse me, that was a little faster than I thought it was going to be. So good evening. Thanks everyone for coming out. I do want to start off tonight by reading a proclamation for National Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And after I read this, I'm going to bring up a family to present the proclamation to a local warrior, Kira Orhood. So, National Childhood Cancer Awareness. Whereas childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children, And whereas in 2022, it is estimated 10,470 children birth to 14 and 5,480 adolescents, 15 to 19, will be diagnosed with cancer. There are approximately 40,000 children on active treatment at any given time. The average age of a diagnosis is 6 years old, compared to 66 years for adults. And 80% of child cancer patients are diagnosed late. And on average, there has been 0.6% increase in the incident per year since the mid-1970s, resulting in an overall increase of 24% over the last 4 years. 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will have chronic health conditions as a result of their treatment. Approximately 1/2 of childhood cancer families rate the associated financial toxicity due to the out-of-pocket expense as considerable to severe. And whereas in the last 20 years, only 4 new drugs have been approved by the FDA for childhood cancer. National Cancer Institute recognizes the unique research needs of childhood cancer and the associated need for increased funding to carry this out. Hundreds of nonprofit organizations at the local and national level, including Friends of Faith, Prudent Foundation, are helping children with cancer and their families cope through educational, emotional, and financial support. Whereas researchers and healthcare professionals work diligently, dedicating their expertise to treat and cure children with cancer. Whereas too many children are affected by this deadly disease, and more must be done to raise awareness and to find a cure. So now and therefore, I, Patrick J. Closser, the mayor of London, Ohio, do hereby proclaim September 2022 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in London, Ohio. And I encourage everyone to support this cause that deeply impacts many families in our community, our city, our state, and our nation. So if the family would like to come up, and we'll stand in front of City Council and I'll present it to you. And Amy, if you could come out and grab a picture for us, that'd be great.
Thank you.
As they head out, I do just want to thank them for coming out and receiving this proclamation. I know this is a cause that is really in the forefront, not just for this wonderful family, but a lot of families here in Madison County, as we know, and in London. So I'm glad that hopefully we could raise even more awareness today by doing this, and thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I did have the honor of visiting a few local businesses with the head of our county economic development and planning, David Kell, as well as Deb Shear from One Columbus. We were able to have meetings with leadership from Nissan Chemetech, Stanley Electric, and Graymag. There really seemed to be a common theme of each meeting. Things seem to be going pretty well for all three places with their for the three employers. You know, cost of doing business is rising, and even though that they are at a decent staffing level, they still need more hourly employees, as pretty much everyone does. So they've been raising all their hourly pay rates for their hourly employees in the past couple of years. but it's still difficult to get employees. Combined, these companies employ around 2,000 people for our city. So overall, it was very positive meetings. It was good to get out and talk to them, see what maybe they need from us or how things are going or how we can help them, and just wanted to show our support for them and what they're doing for our community and just strengthen the partnership that we already have. I do want to thank Congressman Mike Carey and his district director Blaine Kelly for coming out to London this past Monday. Myself, along with some of the council members, had the opportunity to sit down with the congressman over coffee. We were able to discuss what's been going on in London and in our nation's capital. It's great to know that we have such a wonderful resource in the congressman who is eager to help us on a federal level. So we will be in close contact with him and his office using the resources they have to help improve London, and hopefully that means with our infrastructure. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the fun fact today, which is 109. The school building next door to us, which you may know as the old high school if you're Rex's age, or the old middle school if you're my age, completed construction and was opened in 1913, 109 years ago. That building has seen many great things and many people have made it through those hallways. With that being said, it's well past its prime and urban renewal needs to take place. The decay of that building on this blighted corner needs to make way for new opportunities. The City of London was awarded a grant for $485,000 for the demolition, hauling of debris, filling of land, landscape, and new sidewalks. This grant has to be used for the project and be completed by the May of 2023. This has been discussed at many City Council committee meetings, and Councilmember Hitt will be bringing legislation to move that forward at the next meeting. We have done our due diligence on this building, trying to get it occupied and or sold. We've had many developers come in, and after walking through the building, they were not interested in the least, even if we were willing to give it to them. So having this free money in a form of grant of almost $500,000 will save the taxpayers money. If we were not able to secure this grant, there is no doubt in my mind within the next 5 to 10 years that building would still be empty and we would have to be forced to tear it down at the city's expense. With that being said, our number one priority concerning the demolition is youth sports. We have to make sure that we have a place to continue our current youth sports programs and possible new programs. We have been working very hard on where we'll be able to continue these activities. We know that gym space is very limited in our community, and we will need our own space. We have been working with an architect to look at the construction of a steel building for a gym. This is a very basic floor plan with about the same gym floor space that we currently have. It'll just include bathrooms, a concession stand, small office, storage room, and a mechanical room. We are not looking to build a Taj Mahal, but have a functional steel building gym so we can continue to offer youth athletics and continue to grow our programs while giving the youth of this community something constructive to do. We have a couple sites that the city owns that we are looking at, and we are going through floor plan layout process currently. We have visited some gyms to get some ideas of what would be the most functional while keeping the costs down. We envision this project of being a public and private partnership with local community members. We will be receiving more information on this possible project, and we'll share those details as they come in. We are in the initial steps of this process, but want to be transparent and let the community know what we are looking to do. So, with that being said, that is all I have, and I appreciate all your time.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, on to ordinance 14622. This is one of our tabled items. Also ordinance 14722 and ordinance 15122. Those are all table items, and I don't think that the status has changed on those at this time. Does anyone have any new information on those, or we're still the same?
As far as I know, 15122 is still the same.
Okay. And then those go on with it. All right. Then we'll go on for the third reading, Resolution 16922, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 16922, sponsored by Brian Robinson, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids and enter into contract for the purchase of pedestrian crosswalk equipment.
All right, and Brian is not here this evening. Someone on that, Rich, do you have anything for that?
I'm on that.
Or you have, okay.
Right, so this is just allowing Mr. Rex Council to go ahead and advertise for the bids not to exceed $190,000 for the upgraded list that the city presented, which was 12 different locations, I believe 24 different lighted pedestrian signs. So this is just allowing him to take that step. This is the third reading if we'd like to pass this tonight.
Okay. Any further questions? All right, what are our wishes?
I make a motion to adopt.
Okay.
Second.
And a second. Clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Eads,
Yes.
Peters,
No.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Stahl.
Yes.
Okay. On for the second reading, ordinance 17022, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 17022, sponsored by Rich Hayes, and ordinance amending ordinance 17219.
This ordinance, what we're doing here with this ordinance is just opening up the parameters for the fire department as far as a pay scale. It's not a pay raise. It's just opening up those parameters that they can fall into that pay scale, and raises could be eventually awarded with their time in service. We're losing so many fire members, EMS members, to other departments, especially Columbus. Columbus starts them out, I don't know what the exact amount is, but they go from here to Prairie, and then they go from Prairie, they go on into Columbus. So Chief Eads is here. Chief, would you like to address anything on this?
Sure. Kind of what we were looking at is just to
You have
give
a
us,
microphone.
I don't need the microphone.
Well, yeah, we need to be able to hear you on the recording.
So, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
What we're looking at is we need to be a little bit more competitive with part-time firefighters. Our current range is, if you can see from 2019, was $11 to $13 an hour. We would like to open that range up to $20 an hour, so that way that gives us a little bit more flexibility. We can recruit people. We're not looking at tomorrow, if it passes today, that tomorrow we're going to bump everybody up, but at least that gives some people some incentive to work here. We started the year with about 45 part-time people. We're down to about 20. So as the year has gone by, we just keep losing people. They're going other places to make more money. It's that kind of market right now where they can go wherever they want, and whoever's paying the most, that's where they're going to go. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And again, like I said, we haven't addressed this since 2019. So I think it's time that we at least open up the range a little bit, so that way we have the ability to recruit some people.
All right. Question for you. So for your department, are most of the employees part-time or full-time?
So we, on normal basis, on a regular manpower day, we have 6 full-time and 4 part-time shifts.
Okay.
So, and that becomes our problem, is that when we have somebody who's off, it's a full-time person who's off, we recover that, or we fill that position with a part-time person. If we don't have the part-time people, then that creates the overtime. Our full-time staffing, or our full day staffing with full staff, is 10. Our minimum is 9. So if we drop 1 down, we stay at 9. There's no overtime. We drop more down, that creates overtime. Okay. When we talk about overtime, we're talking almost double of what if we were at the top of the pay range.
All right.
So, and then on top of that, we have pension and benefits.
Okay. And then so that even with 6 to 4, that just says that part-time is very important.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
yeah.
huge. That's
Yeah,
all, yes,
absolutely.
that is a huge
It's a
part.
huge cost savings for us to have so many part-time people.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions? Just for your benefit, one of the things that we talked about early on was if you look at the other pay ranges within the city, and I'm not saying that they don't deserve it or anything like that, but recreation assistant, the range is between $11 and $25 an hour. Park and pool maintenance is 11 to 25. Lifeguard is 9.45 to 15. Clerk is 9 to 14. So even if we had somebody who was topped out, they're still making less than what these guys would be topped out at. So,
Right, because your top right now is $13.
yeah. Yep.
All right.
Make $15 at $15.75 right now at McDonald's.
Yep. Any other questions? Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, so we will, any further questions or discussion here? Okay, and we will, we'll have to leave that on because we can't suspend anything. So we'll move on to Resolution 17122, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17122, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Yeah, these appropriations are to help with the salaries of recreation, with the departure of Tammy, with her payout.
Okay. And that's a payout of $20,000?
Yes,
Salary?
$20,000.
Okay. Do we have any further discussion or questions on ordinance 17122? Okay. On to Resolution 17222, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17222, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
These are appropriations to upgrade the electric there at Cowling Park. This would be for $45,000, and that would be to install the 600 amp service in the park.
I think this one's the 15,000.
Yeah, this is the 15.
Oh, someone ahead.
Yep. You're good.
Yep, $15,000, and this one would be to install a three-phase 600 amp transformer there at the park.
Any questions on 17222? All right, on to 17322, motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 17322, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution increasing appropriations.
Like I mentioned before, this would be to upgrade the electric there at Cowling Park to install the 600 amp service for $45,000.
Any questions or further discussion? 17322?
Yeah, I wasn't here when this came up originally, so.
Okay.
How's it split to 45 to 15?
Because Ohio Edison will have to do the, let me get to it, the transformer, and then a contractor will have to do the service.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Any further questions? All right, thank you. On to ordinance 17422, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 17422, sponsored by Andy Hitt, an ordinance vacating an alley.
This is the alley between 11 South Main and 15 South Main, next to Fine Designs. All of the utilities involved have no objections to this alley being vacated. There was some question about whether there was existing legislation already, and I've talked to the law director, and she researched that and couldn't find any existing ordinance. And then there's a public hearing related to this October 6th.
That's correct.
All of the abutting property owners have signed off on the petition.
All right. Any further questions? Now, I know on this, one of the property owners was pretty sure that it had gone through legislation before, but Jennifer, our law director, was able to look 2 years before that time and 2 years after that time, and there was no record of anything. So we move forward with public hearing for that, and it's October 6th. Yep. All right, any further questions? All right, on to our new business, Resolution 175-22, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved. Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 175-22, sponsored by Anthony Smith, a resolution authorizing the Board of Public Utilities to accept a bid and enter into a contract for trash hauling services.
All right, is there anyone, because I know this is coming through the BPU, I know I spoke with them about this, and we were hoping that there was going to be another bid to come. However, there was not another bid. So we just have the one bid from Rumpke, which expires on the 15th of September. We were hoping to be able to get this passed through today, so that way we would not miss that deadline, because that could be advantageous to the city if we missed that deadline, because at that point Rumpke would know that they are the only bid and they could raise it. So we're trying to, get this done before that time would expire, because, if that expires, we'll have to rebid, and that would not be, I don't think that would be a good thing for the city, for them to rebid. And I'm not sure why other companies don't want to bid for the job, but they just, I don't know if there's a certain area that certain companies go into, but it's just really puzzling why no one else wanted to hop in there. So we will, do you have anything to add to this?
Not really.
Okay.
Said it all.
Okay.
I did talk with 2 other companies, and it's just the cost of buying a compactor to go in there and all expensive.
Okay, so it's really expensive because they have to buy a compactor and everything. So, okay, so lots of other companies sound like they didn't want to get into the expense that it would cost for another compactor and to move, okay. All right, and we're currently with Rumpke, correct? So then they would have no new equipment or anything. They just continue with what they have.
They're actually going to build a brand new compactor.
Wow, okay. So they're going to build a new compactor. Wow. All right. So what we will need to do is we will need to get together amongst each other, and we'll have to have a special meeting so that way we don't miss this September 15th deadline.
Can we not ask them to extend by a day?
I am not sure if we want to do that.
Well, they're going to be able to watch this video. So, I mean, you've already let that out of the bag if they want to watch the video.
Well, it's out of the bag. So
Okay.
That's why we want to get this done. So,
Well, I mean, it expires on the 15th. We meet on the 15th, so.
but we want to have it done before that. So I'm sure.
It'll probably be the end of their
I'm not
business
sure
day.
what time, if it's, if it expires by, 5 o'clock on the 15th or, something like that, but we just want to make sure that we still steer clear of that deadline. I'm sure that they would, sanitation would would appreciate us staying as far away from that deadline as possible. We don't want to go down to the wire at the last minute, so I think maybe we'll discuss amongst each other to make sure everyone can be there, to set a date, to have a special meeting, and we'll have to make sure that we have that notice out within 24 hours before that time, so we can let everyone know so that we can get this completed. Yes.
Can I ask a question? So I just have a question, because I know in the past, I'm just wondering, I don't recall this going through any committee, and I know in the past you've always asked, has this been through a committee? Why are we not putting this through a committee?
This went through the BPU committee, and Anthony is our representative on that.
So it did go through a committee. So my question is, because I was at the BPU meeting,
good.
and there were other issues that were brought up. And during the meeting, they were told, like they're going to do something with the temporary pricing for the 8-inch meters. And they were told, that's going to have to go through the finance and the safety service.
This was already approved by council to put it out
Right, I understand that, but I'm just saying procedurally wise, you've requested, they're your rules.
Yeah,
That
because-
everything go through the committees. I just wondered why this is different than the other things.
Right. Like Rex said too, this has gone through a committee, went through BPU. Anthony is our representative on the BPU committee. This has already gone through council too. We discussed this in council. And we discussed that it may come to the point where hopefully we get, as a matter of fact, it's in the minutes from the last meeting that we hope that there was going to be another bid. So in actuality, it's been discussed in BPU and it's also been discussed in council.
In
too.
council. So in the future, if the BPU wants to do something, then they don't have to go through these other committees to bring it straight to you.
It's going to
because they're
depend on what it
considering-
is. Just like this, there's a timeline on it. So I don't know if you've ever been in, situations where there's timelines on things. Sometimes there's what we call a gray area. This is one of those gray areas. So we need to, work around things and get things done. Or we can drag it out and then we can miss the deadline and end up costing the city a lot of money.
Well,
This
no.
is,
Well,
even
but-
though we.
Or we could have
and-
planned months ago to plan.
No,
this deadline,
no,
this
no.
deadline was the 15th.
No, Mr. Norman,
3 or
not
4
at all.
months ago.
Not at all. This went down to the wire because we were in hopes that there was going to be another bid. So we waited as long as we could to hopefully get another bid. However, we did not.
Okay.
But we had to do our due diligence and hold it out as far as we could in hopes that someone else would give us a bid.
Jump in there.
So then that way we could hopefully save the city some money if someone had a better bid than they did. However, even down to the 12th hour, no one else came to bid at all, but we gave them every opportunity to bid. So that pulls us down to last of the wire. We have no more time left for meetings or anything. So there's nothing that we could have done to cause this to happen sooner.
Okay, I just wanted,
Yeah.
to me, it looks kind of like a slippery slope that if you make an exception here and we go on down the road and they want to present something, they're going to come back to this and say, hey, we did it then, why can't we do it now?
For the majority of things, because we've had to have things come through before, and they've brought them to me and discussed them with me, if there's time constraints, and sometimes we do have to do that. But however, we do discuss them in council. I prefer that things go through committees, so that way if there's a long discussion on things, it doesn't draw council out. I like it to be discussed in committees before, so you ask lots of questions, things like that. However, it can come here if it needs to, which they usually ask me, and I'll approve that or not.
Okay,
To come
I mean,
to
I was
discuss
just
it.
asking.
So I'm just letting you know the procedure, how it can go. So from time to time, things may change, but we'll have to approve that if there's time constraints that can cost the city money or save them money.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
so
thank
we definitely wouldn't want to miss any of that, especially with this deadline of the 15th.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can you have access to be able to tell us which ordinance that was that we approved for the bid process?
Not without going back and looking it up.
Okay, because I'm going backwards here, I don't remember either, but I understand what your point is, but I believe if city council has approved the safety service director to accept and enter into a contract, that probably was part of that legislation up front. Just to go out, but also accept? Okay, so it was just a bid to go, just to go out. Okay, I understand where you're going with that.
Right.
And then I do have a question for Mr. Guyman here. Price-wise, how's this stack up to what we were currently at?
We were currently at 63, they added $1 last month because of prices at landfill. So we're at 64.
So we're at 64, but the first year bid for this per contract compacted ton is now $70. To go up to $72.90 and then $75.82. So that's that part of that. And then the roll-off, can you explain to me what this is?
The roll-off can
If you could come to the microphone, please. Yeah, so that way we can hear on the recording. Thank you.
So we'll get it back on the recording very quickly. So the price you just said before was 63, but they raised it to 64. But this bid is for $70.10 per ton.
Yes, sir.
and then next year 7290, and then 7582. But I don't want, can you explain to me the roll-off, please?
The roll-off container is a box that we put construction debris in.
Okay. So the roll-off per haul right now is how much?
And, gosh, $329, I do believe, and a $200, $250. I don't have that right in front of me, and I don't remember off the top of my head. But they charge so much for hauling also.
Yes, I see roll-off per haul, and then I see a disposal per ton.
Yeah.
So the bid says for the first year, $400 per haul and $54.71 per ton. I'm just curious how much that went up to. It could have been a very similar price.
And I apologize. I just don't keep that number in my head.
Okay, I was just curious. Seems to me it's 64 and they're going to 70. It's about a 10%, 10% increase from this year till the next start of the contract.
And I would just like to add that I just
want to add that when we knew when the bids came in and there was only one, right, it makes you super nervous. And you would assume that they know they're the only bid, right? And to come in at 9% with the way inflation is now, I was really not shocked, especially because they're going to bring in the new compactor, which is $50,000 to $100,000 probably easily for the compactor they're going to put in at their expense. So with the price of fuel and the price that they have to pay their labor now and all that and everything going up, I actually was pretty shocked that it was only 9%. So I don't think we're in too bad of a place with that, personally.
And then we're going to have to, eventually I would think we're going to have to put that in our rates to our consumers, our residents, or
I would think so too. I mean, it's got to end some. I mean, yeah, we can't just keep losing money.
Okay, thank you.
It's 2 hauls per day still?
A lot of times it's 2 hauls a day. Yeah, we went up over 50% on how much trash we pick up from 2019. So we're busy.
Is the new compactor, is that a bigger compactor than the one that we have now?
Same size, but the compactor we have now has been there ever since I've been there for the last 10 years, and it's just wore out. It keeps blowing hoses. They keep working on it, and when they go down, we're messed up for like a day or so. So.
Who owns that contract or compactor?
Rumpke.
Okay, so we'll give them a pat on the back. They're going to bring a new one in, but it's their problem anyway.
That's why I told Nick. I said, well, yeah, it looks like we're paying for it anyhow. So, yep.
How many? I don't know. I know that Councilman Smith was trying to track down a couple others himself. I don't know how many went out.
Where's that posted at?
So it's
site?
It's posted multiple places, I believe, and we were in contact with there's kind of 3 or 4 main players. There's 3 main players, which is
Waste Management,
Republic, and then Rumpke. That's kind of who can handle what we do, and they were all reached out to on multiple occasions and told, and so yeah.
Are we still short one person?
Say again.
Are we still short one person?
Right now we're short 2 people, and the one guy who left, he wants to come back. So we're working on getting him back to work with us.
Okay.
And we do pretty good with being down just one person. With the automated trucks, it's helped out a ton.
Yeah.
It's just trash and recycling's all went way up.
That's good.
So, and with the increase in housing going on our Tuesday route, we keep wondering if we should bust up Tuesday's route, but we have nowhere else to go with. We're busy every day. So hopefully in the future we can afford another truck, and that's going to cure a lot of problems for us.
All right.
Okay.
Glad those trucks are working out for us.
They are.
Very, I can imagine operating on the old trucks.
Yeah, I asked the guys, you want to pick up bags again? They said, no way.
With the increase, yeah, that wouldn't at all,
No, we
so.
wouldn't.
All right, thank you. All right, on to roundtable. Or, let's see here. Yeah, we'll have to get together, schedule a special meeting so that we can get that completed. Now on to roundtable. We'll begin with Mr. Eads.
I'll make a suggestion on that. We're going to be here for 2 separate committees on one day.
Is that the 7th?
Is that the 7th, John?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have quite a few of your members here that day.
Right.
If
Yeah,
you
I
want
saw
to
that.
squeeze that in at some point, maybe between meetings and,
Yeah, I saw
or
that.
before, or however you want to do, that's just a suggestion. So I'm not going to apologize. Is Marilyn still here?
No.
She left.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll make the comment regardless. I'm not going to make an excuse why I wasn't there. I wasn't there. However, along with many others, I've made a personal contribution through my business there and with the Lions Club. So, and I grew up on the south side. I mean, I grew up going to that park and going down to Lincoln Ball Field. That's where I played ball, right? So I'm glad that they've made the strides that they have. I'm glad the city's worked with them, the administration's worked with them, and they had such a good turnout. I asked the mayor about that the other day, and well over 100 people is what he said he thought was the turnout for that day.
Oh, it was hot that day, but it was an unbelievable turnout and a bunch of kids.
And they still have plans moving forward. This was just phase 1 for them.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. I hope that works well. And now I'm going to move on to the second part. So we know that this council as a whole approved a plan to go forward and put a ballot initiative to raise taxes by 0.4% in order to fund the fire department and build a police department. I know that Amy stated that she had an invitation went out for the committee. I was the only council member to go to the committee. I think that we as a council, I'm talking to each one of you publicly right now, we agreed to this, we approved this, and I think we have to show our support of this individually and as council members as we move forward, and hopefully help give whatever ideas and insights that we talked about also to the committee that's running this, and maybe we can help them out a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Peters?
I have nothing.
Nothing, all right. Mr. Hayes?
Okay, want to thank all city employees for jobs well done. Les, thanks for coming back on Wednesday and picking up the recycle. I had several neighbors asking me what was going on, and I said, they'll be here tomorrow, as far as I know. And so, thanks, I appreciate that. Good job. Special shout out to that little angel that was here tonight. I don't know how old she is, but cancer. I mean, I've had cancer. I kind of expect to get cancer being an older person, but that breaks my heart. But praise the Lord, she's doing good, and she's going to be a good person. Going to be a fine, outstanding citizen when she gets a little older. She already is, but she'll make a really good human being down the road. Public safety meeting, September 13th at 5 o'clock in the conference room, right back here. I want to thank my committee members that so graciously give up their time and come in and work with me. God bless the city of London and its citizens. Keep us safe and keep us well. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hitt?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone that's here showing an interest in what's going on with the city. I'd like to thank the mayor for recognizing the family that was here. I think it's important to have that kind of positive atmosphere in the meeting. That's it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Stahl?
I live in the south side, so I'm also very glad that something's happening down there, so it's nice to see. I'd also just like to give a shout out to my wife. We just celebrated our 47th anniversary, and it's not been easy taking care of me all these years.
All right, thank you. Also, too, like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Thank you for bringing all your audience concerns. Thank you for, it seems like everyone's getting really involved in the city government. It's good to see that because, like I mentioned a while before, we would come to meetings and it would be the same people or person every single meeting. It'd be Shirley Litchfield, she didn't miss a meeting. So, wherever she's at now, I heard that she's not doing well as far as her health. And I know she had some health issues before, but from what I understand, they're a lot greater now. But at times we would have one person. So I'm glad to see now we have meetings and people come, they bring concerns and everything. And I'm glad for this council here because we are able to get things done. We have concerns that come to us and we do our best to listen to the community and to get these things done. We don't take them, sweep them under the rug. We take them serious and we put all the effort and energy and research and everything into it that we can, so that way we could hopefully make this a better city for the community. All right, a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.